Hey, Leadership Forum. Just wanted to send you kind of a special face to face message about big question that we're facing. So I just met with Dr. Manock, and it was a good meeting. I was talking with him about some things coming up. I guess I should back up and just kind of explain. I've talked to the Leadership Forum about how I'm dealing with the anxiety and kind of what I'm dealing with there. And because of that, I have been meeting with Dr. Manock to pursue help with the anxiety issues and such. And there's probably been 8 to 10 hours of therapy in the last few weeks with him. And so that's been really neat. Last week, I had a time where I had my wife there, had Matt Kimmel there, and kind of got thrown a curveball. I was surprised. I've talked to all the board, the eldership about this, but just opening this up to the rest of the Leadership Forum, and this is confidential with us right now. But he said at the end of my session with him last week, he said, "What if you were a pastor on staff with me and I was your senior pastor, I would be making you take a month off mandatory." He said, "If I could get you to take 3, I would, but I would make you take a month off mandatory." So the eldership has been looking at doing that, and we were thinking very soon. Dr. Manock was really thinking very soon, like October. But this is the challenge, is that I just had another 2-hour session with him today trying to plan that time out. And I really had a question of, well, what about this prayer event and family meeting we were really planning to talk about at this family meeting? Matt Kimmel's transition out, which is a big conversation, obviously, going to be very sensitive for the community to be encountering that. I think there's going to be a lot of sadness and all that, a lot of emotions that we all expect are going to happen. It's going to be tough. And then I would be gone right after that. Well, Dr. Manock really didn't think that was a good idea, and I agree. That just kind of just came up as we were thinking through things. So the challenge is either move the content of this family meeting to another family meeting that is as soon as possible. This is basically the second Sunday of November, second Sunday of November, because I'm gone in Chicago at the next Transforming Community cohort meeting the first Sunday of November. So either move and do another family meeting the second Sunday of November and go ahead and talk about Matt and Becca and all that then, and have Matt stay on. Probably he'd be gone a few Sundays for some preview stuff with the other church that he's looking at going to be worship pastor, but looking at to the end of January, like him staying off and on through January instead of to the end of December. And we've brought Jennifer Branson on 30 hours a week, starting effective Tuesday, October 1st. 30 hours a week to be operations assistant. She's going to be taking over a lot of the things Matt does and assisting me in the partnering in the the work during the week on running logistics of the church. Still looking for a worship leader piece. Be praying for that. But the reason I'm putting this out is that we kind of have some options here. Either I move my time off and taking time away to like mid-October and be here for a couple weeks after we explain things and process Matt and Becca this coming family meeting, or we focus on appointing some deaconesses this coming Sunday, and maybe possibly do our time of just saying goodbye to to Jake and Jessica Moivau and Taimane, and have them come in and pray for them and bless them and give them some love. this Sunday family meeting instead, and just talk about the deaconesses and the expanding of the leadership and some of our heart for this next year right now, or the current season, and then do November the 2nd, Sunday of November, talk about Matt and Becca and Addie and Jeb and their transition out, or else potentially move my and that would be with me keeping October as the time that I take off, or we keep the plan of talking about Matt and Becca this Sunday, but I would need to make some significant changes and try to figure out how many weeks I need to stay to be there as people are kind of starting to grieve that and ask the questions and process them moving on from our community. So I'm not looking for feedback yet. I need you guys to really pray about this. I'm making a video and kind of expressing my heart here because we really need to seek God's heart for this. We need some discernment. James 1 says, if anyone lacks wisdom, you should ask God, and God will give it generously. Just don't doubt. So I really want us to go and be asking God for this and trusting He's going to give us wisdom for this. And I hate to change things last minute. That was not my intention. I'm just trying to follow what we as leadership believe should be done. And this kind of was thrown at me, curveball, just last week and then today. And so I'm sending this out as quick as I can. So love you guys. Praying for you. Let's lift this up in prayer. And there's probably going to be some time for people to give responses via Slack or audio or some kind of thing. I might start so that we can do some face-to-face, like us each talk about our heart when we can't do a meeting like in person, pull together quickly on Marco Polo. So if you could download the Marco Polo app on your iPhone or Android device, that would be really great. And I might be able to make a simple group. I've done it with my discipleship group, a group of us that can just see face-to-face little videos like this really easily. So that would be really helpful. Love you guys, and let's bring this to the Lord. And so thanks, guys.